Oh hi, getting started in 10 minutes. Toss any links to stories that you want to talk about into the Discord. https discord gg beignet tridix 8
Oh, hi, hello, how you doing? My name is Waldo, and I am here to feel the politics with you. How is everybody tonight? I am doing fine and looking fly, obviously, because I am a fly boy. I don't know. How's it going? Did anything happen over the weekend? I don't know. Maybe a World War III, or maybe not.
As always.
As always, that's right. Uh, did 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 we have a World War III over the weekend? Because it was pretty much set Saturday. I did the Saturday stream, and I read the news. I looked at all the politics, played the game, did the thing, signed off, went and did some yard work outside, and I came back and it was World War III. All of a sudden, the the the, the drones had launched and thousands of drones and cruise missiles and ballistic missiles and everything was coming for Israel, and and then it was over, and then I started looking at sources and I started looking at the news and I was like, oh my gosh, should I stream again Saturday, a second Saturday stream in the afternoon because of the impending World War III. And I thought about it. I was reaching for the button. There's a button right here. I was reaching for it, and then I saw another link that said, "Hey, Iran said that the attack is concluded." And I was like, "Oh, well, like it's over." Okay,
We had a nuclear apocalypse, but we got bet it.
we got better. It's true. We did get better. We had a World War III. It was the quickest World War III that I've ever been through. I've been through a few. Okay, as old as I am, you've been through a lot of World War IIIs, and this one was real quick, real fast, over and done with in a single afternoon. And that's the way we should do our World War III wars. Um, our WW3s ought to be over in an afternoon. I'm completely on board for this. Iran, you're looking entirely and completely uh, civil and civilized by having your entire World War III done in a single afternoon. That is progress, baby. Who'd have thought Iran would be the progressive ones? The most gentlemanly, the most polite. They warned us ahead of time. They told us it was coming. They said where it was going to go, what they were going to do. They did it. It's over. It's done with. Move on. Wow, this is the future of warfare. It could be great. What if everybody did that? What if all wars from now on were just people saying, "Hey, you did the bad thing. Here's what we're going to do in response," and then they just do it, and then we all prevent it, and then nothing happens, and then everybody's better. I mean, I know one little kid died, but that's a lot better than hundreds of thousands of stuff like that. Israel didn't do that. They didn't say, "Hey, we're about to bomb your consulate." No, they just kind of dropped a bomb there without telling anybody. How rude! They didn't get consent for that bombing at all. Uh, I am goofing around, but honestly, it's over and it's done with. Why is it over and done with? Because it was all saber rattling. One term, you get to use it on a rare occasion. Saber rattling. Oh, do I have any swords laying around? I don't. But uh, I should get one though, shouldn't I? I should have a sword ready to go just in case we need to do some saber rattling. Let me find one. I'm sure there are some around here. There's one. Rattling your sabers. Got a saber. It's a saber. It's not real quite a saber, but I'm rattling it. I'm rattling my saber at Iran. And what they did, Iran, is one of their
Do I
generals
have a
got killed.
sword lying around here, Father of the Year material?
Hey, this is clearly, I mean, where do you think this comes from? From kids. Uh, I mean, have you seen my tool shed back here? I got like a whole tool uh, bench back here that's just really in grabbing distance for all the babies. There's a cordless drill right there. Like your children should come over here and play, and then they can play with the drill bits, and they can play with the screwdrivers and the tape and the what is that? That's a hammer. That's a rubber hip mallet. Yeah, I got all the important stuff. The drill index right there. I got all the fun stuff back there. So what was I thinking? Oh yeah, yeah, Iran. They rattled their sabers because the Israelis killed one of their generals bombing. as I mentioned, with no consent. Bombed the guy. The guy was running their
Right
missile
next to the
programs.
open bottles of coolant.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, I got open bottle of Drano in the bathroom over there. Don't look. Anyway, so we did some Israel did a bomb to stop the guy who was bombing them, and then they sent some bombs in retaliation for the bombs that got sent to the guy who was sending the bombs. Not a fun place to be. Is what I'm suggesting. Maybe they should all cut that shit out and stop rattling their sabers. Honestly, uh, they it didn't accomplish anything, but they knew that, and I think that's why we have to wrangle in Israel right now. Right now, they're talking about holy going to what's the Jewish version of jihad? I don't know. I'm sure there's a word for it, but they're going to talk about going on a holy war against Iran, and we can't let them. This is not a good thing. Iran told us they were going to what they were going to do. They rattled their saber. Their people felt better. Their uh, uh, terrorist cells felt better about it. It made them feel good, give them a little boost of confidence, and then they ended it, and it was done. And almost nobody died. One person did, but almost nobody died. Um, I don't think that's the way we
Okay, Waldo,
want.
go to sleep. That's enough ranting for today.
No, I'm just getting started, Tyler. Uh, they didn't sneak it in there. They told us what was coming, and it's so that they don't look stupid because they don't want to look stupid. Iran is an actual real country that doesn't want to look stupid, and what we have to do is be reasonable with them. They were reasonable about this retaliation. They were reasonable. They were downright gentlemanly.
Here we go.
And now we need to be gentlemanly with them. Open peace talks. Ex- uh, Reopen all of the uh, what's the word? All of those the Iran deal that Trump killed. Reopen it. They seem to be reasonable. They're they don't want to be funding these terrorists. They'd rather be a real country. And if you let them be a real country, they'll stop doing all this nonsense. Let them be a real country. Let them be at the big kid stable. Let them become a proper functioning democracy. Make it happen. Work with them to help them make it happen. And that would lead to world peace, honestly. Would they get something out of it? Yes. Would we get something out of it? Yes. Would everybody get everything they want? No. Um, I'm worried. I'm honestly worried that Netanyahu wants to go to war with them, so that if he jumps into a war, we'll have to follow him. And I don't want that. I don't want to follow him into a war that we shouldn't be in, just to help his political career. Honestly, I mean, Netanyahu just wants
The
to
thing
keep
is, they
winning.
were given enough resources to create a functioning state, but they used that to bomb Israel.
They told Israel that it was coming, and Israel killed one of their generals the week before. The, all the sides are fucking up here. And if you're thinking that it's one-sided over there, or that one side is good and one side is bad over there, you're fucking up. If you think that
Talking about Palestine.
okay, Palestine. Oh, I'm talking about Iran. Um, Palestine was given enough resources to create a functioning state? No, they weren't. Absolutely not. Madness. No, they weren't. But they used that to bomb Israel. The worst parts, the worst terrorists among them did that.
YESSSS.
No, um, none of the things. Uh, they're in a suffer box. This is the thing that I keep calling it. It's
Man,
the
you
suffer
are
box.
crazy boy.
I am crazy boy. I'm wild and crazy. This is true. They have a suffer box. They've been built and forced into an open air prison, into a concentration camp, and the worst elements of humanity come out in that situation. Prison's not a nice place to be. The worst in humanity comes out in those places. So it's very similar to what happens in a prison. The majority of the people just want to keep their head down and be quiet and leave everybody else alone and be left alone. But they can't because the loudest and the most aggressive are fomenting escape and violence and terror and trying to fight and break out. And you you don't have a whole lot of choices. Those innocent Palestinians don't have a good choice. They can't rally together to make a functioning government, as you're talking about, because if they do, they'll be labeled a terrorist organization and then they will be attacked. They will be harmed if they try to form a peaceful coalition. They will. And Netanyahu supports Hamas in a roundabout way because he wants an adversary. He wants an opponent that he can shoot at. He needs somebody on the other side that is bad and scary and he can blame for anything that goes wrong or for any violence and stuff like that. Uh, and then he feeds into them. The choices that he makes to allow what goes in and what comes out of the suffer box creates more of them, intentionally, willingly.
We agree to disagree. I think Palestine could have played it differently.
They could try to play it differently. And I think you're right that I don't want anyone joining Hamas. I don't want Hamas bombing anything. I don't want Hamas stealing supplies for their soldiers and then kidnapping people. I don't want any of that. But I'm not surprised by it. That's what I'm trying to get at. I'm not saying that it's right. I'm not saying it's good. I'm not supporting them. I'm, in fact, condemning them. But I'm not surprised by it. You don't have to enjoy or like or support the bad thing that's coming up in a couple of weeks, but you can know what's happening, you know?
Before the 7th to create a functioning state.
No, before the 7th, if you tried to peacefully create a new a state or something like that, Hamas would stomp on you, and they would, and the IDF would allow it, or they would leak things to the. I'm now making stuff up. Okay, no. I've heard some theories. I'm not gonna spit theories right now, but how am I feeling? I feel like there's a suffer box, and the people inside the suffer box are fighting to get out of it. And of course, they turn to terrorism. That's how everything works. That's how prisons work. That's how everything works. So deconstruct the suffer box. Give them some autonomy. Give them some more control over their water, their food, their energy, their infrastructure, their lives. Let them come and go from the suffer box. Right now, if any of those Palestinians leave, they never get to come back. If you have a home there and you left, I mean, even for if you left the area, you cannot come back in. um, Tyler, that one didn't
But
go
the
through.
people
Yeah,
voted for was voted to power the people terrorism and killing of JWS.
they voted for that because there were no real good options. The people who put together the peaceful coalitions were, what's the word, oppressed by the dangerous ones and not given the necessary tools they needed to become an actual functioning state. You know what I mean? The the suffer box is controlled by Netanyahu, and he has made it to where those people cannot functionally survive any other way. You die a horrible death, or you join Hamas to die a horrible death. Those are your options.
Oh, okay, so there was no attempt to create a peaceful state. The people wanted war, and that's what they got.
No, they
In
can't.
2006, and that was the last actual election they got to have.
Exactly, Tyler. That wasn't a 2 years ago kind of election. That was 2006 because they were given a little bit of uh, leeway, and they took it to create an election. And yes, that's not a good thing to elect the Hamas people, but there's no other options. You join Hamas and die, or you die.
Brother, they voted Hamas into power.
In 2006, it's a fucking long time ago. The people, the children dying today were not alive in 2006. The average age is like 20 years old over there right now. Of the people that are still alive, they're all children. The children that are there dying today didn't vote in 2006, almost 20 fucking years ago, it's 18 years ago, for Hamas. Have they been given a chance? Have they had a new election? No. There's a suffer box that the very powerful country of Israel controls what happens
Hamas
inside
did
that
a
box.
180 when they got elected.
That too, they did promise a lot of nice, pleasant things, but then didn't do it. And that could be just because they got tricked into it.
They lied to get eye power.
There you go. See. Um, so what do I think is going to happen? I think it's just going to keep getting worse. I made a bet with Popog.
The majority of Palestinians in Gaza support Hamas terror. Pull up the charts, Waldo.
Pull up charts of Palestinian Gaza support. You think they're taking polls? They don't have food to eat. They're starving right now. Do you think there's they've been starving for years and years and years? You think there's polling data? Bro, if you're a journalist over there, they probably kill you. The journalists were the first ones to die on October 8th. They killed a lot of journalists on October 8th that are on the Palestinian side because they don't want us to see what's happening over there. The IDF doesn't want us to see what's happening over there. What they're doing, I think, fits under the definitions of ethnic cleansing and is nearly a genocide. I have a bet going with Popog in a year's time. It's probably about 11 months now that there will be. He suggested there'll be like 2 million Palestinians, and I just can't see that happening. There's just not going to be any more of them. They're going to be fewer next year, and fewer the year after, and fewer the year after. And yes, the suffer box will tighten, and then they will fight to get out of it. And how they fight to get out of it is by bombs and stuff like that, and violence, because they don't know anything better. They don't know any way other way. They don't have anything. And then that will be used as an excuse to go and kill more of them, and then there will be fewer of them, and fewer until there aren't any. That is, I think, actually Netanyahu's plan. And what has that got to do with Iran? Iran says that uh, Iran is backing other terrorists, which is not an okay thing to do. Iran, please stop backing terrorists. I wish they wouldn't. I wish they
Bad
could be our
judgment on
friend.
their part. They rather starve than divert their resources to build a function instead of creating bombs and continuing terror in the region.
My man, they can't create a functioning society. They can't. They can die or they can join Hamas and die. Those are your options. Pick one. Die or join Hamas and die. That's it. There's no third option there, boss. There's just not. Uh, the way the Israelis have set up the rules and the functioning of the suffer box, those are your only options. Anyway, Iran. That's what we're talking about next. Iran is backing terrorist groups, the Houthis and the what's the other? Hezbollah and the Houthis, because they can. I don't want them to. I wish they wouldn't. I wish they were on a better
Right now they can't.
situation.
Before Israel invaded they could, but like I said, they voted Hamas in.
18 years ago, they voted Hamas in. 18 years ago. Most of those people are dead now. The people who voted for Hamas are dead. They are. Do they get to keep being in charge? Anyway, I'm talking about Iran. So Iran has, yeah, they're backing the terrorists. They shouldn't. I wish they wouldn't. But again, this is the most cost benefit thing that they can do. They want to be an important person on the world stage. They want to be a real country, so they're backing these people, and we should be friends with them. We need to work out a system where they're not paying for terrorists and we're not expecting them to bomb our allies. We need some diplomacy, but I'm worried the diplomacy won't work. I don't think it can work because of the left, right, back and forth nature of America. Why would you ever go into a diplomatic agreement with America if you think that the next president is just going to cancel it? Why would you? If Iran wanted to have some sort of deal with Joe Biden, he could. I mean, they could. The state of Iran could work with the United States, and our head diplomats and our diplomacy guys could get together and hash out a plan. It wouldn't be pretty. It would take years. It'd be very difficult. But then the next Republican president is just going to cancel it.
Lol, in real life you'll be a terrible foreign policy advisor, weak rhetoric.
Weak rhetoric? Because bombing works so fucking well, you know? All this murder sure is accomplishing exactly what we needed. All this killing sure is getting it done. No, it's not. We sure did do a good job in Afghanistan and Iraq, didn't we? With all our bombs. It doesn't work. You can't bomb ideology out of existence. And Iran is 4 times larger than Iraq. You think it's going to go well? With all how you look at Iraq and imagine it was 4 times bigger. That is what we can't do. That is what we can't let the right-wing politicians talk us into. We can't let the
Democracy explosions.
democracy explosions. Yeah, it's not this isn't Helldivers. We can't just run in and scream, "I love democracy," and then shoot everything in sight. Doesn't
Drop
work.
the all nukes, fuck the Middle East.
Terrible idea. The entire place dies, and then it becomes a radioactive, and then we have to live with the radioactive fallout for the rest of our lives. Bad times. All right. Yeah, it would be a bad time. Not good for anybody. Let's see. So let's bring up some newses. Let me bring up some stuff, some
Stop
sites.
smoking, Waldo.
Stop smoking. I know. I'm sorry. I, uh, I can't. I'm in flavor country. You know what I mean? Let's do. Where are you? Game capture. Turn
It's
off.
fucking your lung.
You're right. I'm gonna have to give it up, I suppose. And then we bring this up here. We go here. We go back to window capture because it has to be up or else I won't see it. We're gonna look at that one later. But let's keep on the stuff here. Nope, not that. This Israel's military chief says that Israel will respond to Iran's weekend missile attack. The weekend missile attack. I do like that. Hey, just stop by. We'll have a weekend missile attack. It'll be a good time. Hang out with some friends. Crack open a couple of beers. Israel military chief on Monday said that his country will respond to Iran's weekend attack, but it did not elaborate on when and how the world leaders urged against retaliation, trying to avoid a spiral of violence in the Middle East. Yeah. So Joe Brandon has told them, don't respond to this. You didn't lose anything. It's fine. Don't panic. And I think that's the right call. Settle the hell down. De-escalate.
I just can't comprehend how you can be so darn lefty proud and everything. Wow.
I'm very good at lots of practice. The Iranian attack on Saturday came in response to a suspected Israel strike 2 weeks earlier. Yep. Let's keep going. We already know all this. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has been huddling with top officials to discuss a possible response. For a second day straight, the government has made no announcements on the decisions. In a conversation with U.S. House Majority Leader Steve Scalise, fuck that guy, Netanyahu said that Israel will do whatever is required to defend itself, the Prime Minister's office announced. While Israeli leaders have hinted at retaliation, the government is under heavy international pressure not to further escalate the conflict, especially after the
So
Iranian
sad. I
strike
hope you
caused
get
such little
better and
damage.
come to the right path.
You think so? You got to make a good argument for me there, Tyler. What, you got any arguments that would push me over? Because I haven't heard any. Let's see. I love evidence, and I, I yeah, every time I look at it, it moves me further left.
Trump 2024.
That's a terrible argument. We don't want to see escalation, but we will obviously take necessary measures to protect our forces in the region. So yeah, I think maybe, if we're lucky, they'll chill out and keep on with the thing that they're doing. So that would be nice if they uh,
Ha 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 ha, you
just
funny.
let it chill. If they let it calm down, let it chill out a little bit, maybe relax a minute. I know that it was dangerous, but they told you it was coming. We intercepted all the stuff. You didn't lose. You lost one person, which isn't good. But you didn't lose hundreds. You didn't lose thousands. You didn't have another 9/11. Just chill. Let them have it. Chill it out. Relax. You gotta pick your battles. You can't just go to war with everybody. So Hopefully that's what will happen, and we can just get back to the ethnic cleansing of Palestinians. I mean, you're already your dance card's full. Netanyahu, you're busy.
Forgot empathy be more racist and xenophobic general hate the right path. Super approve of de-escalation and reason over reactivity and bloodlust.
I agree, Melcidian. Good point. Yeah, let's de-escalate. Bring the things down. Don't say, hey, they hit us, so we got to hit them
There's no
twice.
ethnic cleansing law.
There is. Of course it's ethnic cleansing, man. How else can you describe it? The people of that ethnicity are being treated differently based on how they're born. And then they get forced into
War
second-class
effects.
citizency. War effects. A, a war that's doing an ethnic cleansing. That's the point of the war. That's the point of Israel's actions right now. That is what they're doing. They want that to happen. They want all of the people of this certain
No.
type.
Define the war.
They want this certain type of people gone, either out of the place or bombed. Take your choice. Leave in where you have nowhere to go. You're the poorest, most uneducated people on the planet because of the suffer box. They are incredibly poor. They're incredibly malnourished. They haven't got
You are wrong,
anything.
wow lol.
In what way? Just wrong generally? I mean, I am pretty silly, but that's what they want them to do. They're pushing them into the empty deserts of Egypt, and Egypt is going to build a wall so that they don't have to take them, and then they're all going to starve out there. And Israel's going to take the land that they used to be on. That is what these settlements are about, is taking that land from those people. That is what they're doing. I mean, Israel has a right to defend itself, yes, but you can't. Are you on defense if your zone keeps getting bigger? If you keep scoring points, you're not on defense. If you are getting larger and
Says
larger
he's
amounts
wrong
of
but
land,
offers zero evidence. Good point.
it, Israel is getting bigger. That's not
Didn't Egypt
defense.
barricade their borders pretty early on?
Yeah, they have had that barrier up for a very long time because they don't want to take care of these people either. I I know Popog mentioned a sort of three-state solution last time, which I think might be okay if Egypt weren't so shitty about it. Um, what you kind of have to do is put
They're not letting
somebody
any
else in charge.
Palestinians in, to my knowledge.
Right, they're not letting them in, which means they're going to sit in the desert with no food and water until they die. And that makes it their fault, right? Because you're not letting them in. Or Egypt isn't going to let them in. And Israel says you can't stay here. Where are you going to go? To the desert, where there's no food, no water, no infrastructure, no nothing, no power, no nothing. Just going to die. And that is part of the plan that I think Israel has right now. Push the people away from the cities, push them away from the stuff, and bomb them if they're staying. And once they leave and they go into that desert, you just ignore them until they die. Move the walls of the suffer box to follow along with them, and then they'll put up some. There'll be 7 Palestinians left in between 2 fences. There'll be the fence that Israel put up and the fence that Egypt put up, and it'll be 30 feet by 30 feet, and then that'll turn into 29 feet, and then it'll turn into 28 feet, and there'll just be fewer of them every single year until they're not a problem anymore for Israel anyway. And there's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing I can do about it. We just have to watch because there's nothing to be done. I can't uh, vote for a different person. I mean, Joe Brandon's the one who's running next time. I don't have a choice. And Trump would make it even worse. Tyler, what would Trump do in this situation? If he were in charge, what would he be doing? I really think I know what he would be doing. He would look into the camera and tell you that those are terrorist babies that got bombed. Those are terrorist children that died. That's what Donald Trump would do, I think. If I mean, he's pushed the idea that you need to end this war, meaning hurry the fuck up and kill them all. Hurry up and do the
Israel
thing.
wants Palestine to leave their terrorists' ways and become an independent state at some
No, they
point. They
don't.
broke and went all offensive. Couldn't hold the bombing no more. Keep whining all you want.
Even you agree Hamas is awful. Yes, Hamas is awful. That's what Israel is trying to take out, not ethnic cleansing. That's not the goal. That's what they're killing innocent humans. They're killing children and women and children and babies. They're just bombing them all, man. That's what they're doing. They're taking the threat out from the root, teach East Palestinians a lesson, never elect a government. 2006, Tyler. They elected them in 2006. And they don't have a government anymore. They don't have a government. You're acting like that Hamas sits in a nice building similar to the Pentagon and makes wise and intelligent decisions, or they make terrorist decisions. They decide that they're going to go. These people live in the dirt. They live in holes in the ground. They barely have anything resembling structure. The remember the calendar that was written on the wall? It was a whole thing. The Israeli guy said this is a watch list for who's on terrorist duty, and it was actually just a calendar. Why did they write the calendar out? Because they don't get calendars. They can't get them. They can't get anything that Israel doesn't give them, and it's not a good system. It
Shut the
creates a
fuck up
second.
for a second,
Okay,
brava OMFG. Look what the IDF objectives and future plans. Stop watching CNN MSDNC bullshit, lefty ABC.
everything that you don't like is lefty. Isn't that weird? Right? Everything you don't like is lefty. Weird. That says more about you than it does me. I'm unhappy with the way Biden has been doing this. See? And here I am, the awful, terrible lefty, because he's helping and backing Netanyahu when he shouldn't have. From the beginning, he should have said, hey, settle that shit down. We're the superpower. We're the one that gave you all these weapons. We're the one that gave you all these guns. We're the one that gave you all this money. You do what we say. That would have been spine. It would have been a backbone-filled kind of a response that that Biden could have done, but he didn't because he's from the 1860s. Because he's so old that he thinks that yes, Israel's perfect and right and good and proper on everything. He's not aware, I think, of what they've become over the past 20, 30 years. So, what I'm going to do is, let's see, I think we've covered all of the
Brother,
angles on
those
that.
mainstream channels are liberal to the core. That's why you love to read the Washington Post and all that crap, cause those are the facts that you are fed.
Okay, great. Do you have alternative facts that you'd like to feed me? That you just called them facts. Yes, I got the facts, and I have felt them. And this is the conclusion that I have come to. Do you have alternative facts to show me? Because I think that's exactly what they would be, is alternative facts.
Yes, AP, Epic Times,
The
etc.
Epoch Times. My man, you don't even know how crooked the Epoch Times is. Aren't they? Is that the one that's funded by the Chinese government? Or is that the Epoch Times? Let me check real quick. The Epoch Times, if I remember correctly, if I'm thinking about the thing that I'm thinking of, they're funded by a very rich Chinese guy to spread misinformation to you.
The teaching a lesson portion is the parenting Palestine rails against and are suffering through.
Exactly. Good point, Malcidian. You got to teach them a lesson by murdering thousands of them. Maybe then they'll stop fighting against you. Maybe then they'll behave. No, man, that's not how that works.
Know if
Uh, ta,
Tyler
ta, ta,
Reed's
ta,
has to be the most perfect source cause he's perfect.
ta. Well, he's never claimed to be perfect. Do, 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 do. Okay, so people are calling the Epoch Times an advocacy group for the Falun Gong, and a based or opinionated source that frequently publishes
I am
conspiracy
not perfect,
theories.
God is.
The Epoch Times is a mouthpiece for the Falun Gong.
I'll agree that a lot of news media is polarized.
Yes, but that's not a surprise. The steps everybody goes through. So a fact appears, you see it with your eyes or in your ears or read it on a page. Then you have feelings. Happens to me, happens to you, happens to everybody. A new thing has just appeared. It's appeared. There you read it, you're gonna have feelings. Either feelings of happiness, feelings of sadness, feelings of disgust, feelings of anger, feelings of
All you
dread.
read in polarized media, yup.
Yeah, polarized media. Yeah, a lot of media is polarized. Yes, I'm agreeing. Um, then you have those feelings, and then you are going to either do something with it, or you're going to take that in and it's going to change the way you're thinking. All information that comes in rewires your brain. All of it. All information rewires your brain, unless you already knew it. But that's not the information coming in, then, is it? So rewiring your brain happens every time you read a new thing. You have the feelings, and if you apply your biases to it,
Thank you
what
for
happened?
losing the argument.
Thank you for losing the argument. Yes, polarized. You say that like it's a bad thing. You, I swear, the word polarized means that you're bad. No, polarized can be a good thing. I'm polarized. I know I am. I'm on one side, and I think the other side is incorrect, and I am polarized. That's not a bad thing. You're polarized too. You're polarized against me. You're polarized against the things that I think are correct, and that's fine. That doesn't make you bad. Polarization doesn't make you bad. It
You
doesn't
def
make you
wrong.
worse. I'm definitely wrong. Polarization is bad. You don't know what the word polarized means. You don't know what the word political means. If you think that just being political is bad, everything is political. Kind of the tagline of the entire channel. Um, so yeah, so you have the feelings about it. You run it through your biases, and then you come to a conclusion. Either this is a bad thing that ought to have not happened, or this is a good thing that I support, or here's what I feel about the thing, and then you tell people what you're feeling. And the misguided among us would suggest that that's now a fact afterward, but it's not. It's your feeling about what happened. The right tends to
All
call
hail
it
the hive
common
mind,
sense.
cast off the shackles of critical thought.
But that turns into common sense or feelings. I'm going to be honest with you. When I read a thing, I have feelings. I run it through the old freedom checker. Is this increasing people's freedom? Is it decreasing people's freedom? Is it making more people free? Is it harming for the freedom of people? And if it isn't or is, and then I
My
move on from that.
conclusion is that Israel ought to finish what it started in October 8th, yes.
Okay, so that you want them to die based on their ethnicity. You're calling for an ethnic cleansing. You just don't like the term because it makes you seem like a bad guy. And I think that term completely applies here because they're not just, because they are only working to get the Palestinians out of there. They're intentionally sending their own people to take the land. They're settling. They're sending those settlers.
Nope, I just told you it is not ethnic cleansing, it's taking our terrorists. I think that opinion lacks nuance, Tyler.
And that's okay. It's not ethnic cleansing. It's taking out terrorists who are all one ethnicity and they're killing all the other people. You used the term, what was it? Teaching them a lesson. How do you teach them a lesson if you're not harming them? Like the
No.
lesson that you're talking about is death. If you do the things, you'll die. That's the lesson you're trying to teach them. And they have no other choices. They have no other options. They do not have the capability, the education, the know-how, the wherewithal to make better choices because you have taken all the choices away from them. They have two choices: die or join Hamas
How
and
do
then
they learn
die.
if they are dead?
They can't learn. They can't make better choices. So I am going to take a moment real quick. I am going to go over here to this thingy. Where is that thingy? Oh, here it is. Here's that thingy. I'm going to press this button, the money button, and then I'm going to go grab a beer and I'm going to
Yes,
be
the
back.
lesson is to start building their country without threatening Israeli sovereignty.
How do they build it with they have nothing? And they're not allowed to have things, and they're not allowed to do things, and they're second-class citizens
Recruit
who don't
Palestinians
have
into rebel militias against Hamas while they invade and sweep.
against Hamas while they invade and sweep. Well, Hamas has all the weapons.
And if they're dead,
I see what you're going for, Melody, and I like the idea. Tyler, I like the idea. Build a good country.
says
But
who they were before they tried to invade Israel. No
when they
armed
try,
rebels.
yeah, uh, armed rebels. I know, but then they'll die. Anyway, I'm gonna hit the button. I'm gonna go get a drink. I'll be back. I'm still listening to you, and you can still keep on chatting. And maybe you'll even hear me. I don't know. I'll be right back.
See, we are in the same page, we want the same stuff for Palestinians, we just see it differently. Do an actual sweep, pick them out with the help of Palestinians. Maybe we're past that point, but this could have and could still be handled in a more humanitarian way. War doesn't have to be so hot. It's not that hot like they are portraying it at Melcidian.
Well, hi, I'm back. I got a beer and I got a doggy. Look at this doggy. Hi, doggy. You smell bad. Why do you smell bad? Hmm. Probably playing outside. Yeah. Say hi to the internet. Say hello, internet. My name is Bobo and I bark. Yeah.
Fork break.
Ooh. Pork break, beer break, you know. Okay. Yeah, yeah. And we want the same stuff. We just can't agree on how to get there. That's politics. We agree on what we sometimes agree on the goals, but the getting there is very difficult. The goal most people have is increased happiness for humans and stuff like that, increased freedom and stuff like that. But how you get there, incredibly difficult because everybody has a different path, and some of us think that somebody's ways are better than others. So then we choose who we follow and who we push for, stuff like that. That's just the essence of politics. And that's why I think it's slightly interesting. Nobody else seems to think so. My view numbers would definitely prove that it's not that interesting. Anyway, let's do the other big, big news, and that is good old Donald Trump on trial. Okay, well, maybe let's do this one first. Uh, this one made me laugh because I saw it, and then I clicked on it. Democracy dies behind paywalls. The case for making journalism free, at least during the 2024 election, by Richard Stengel. And he talks about how many times this happened to you. You're on your computer searching for a particular article in a hard to find fact. That happens to me a lot. Or a story you vaguely remember. And just when you seem to have discovered the exact right thing, a paywall descends. $1 for 6 months. Save 40% on year one. Here's your premium digital offer. Are you already a subscriber? No. Now you're faced with the old dilemma, to pay or not to pay. Yes, you may face this very dilemma reading this story in the Atlantic. Good job. Look, I can't read the rest of it because it's behind a paywall.
Any wild speculation on Clarence Thomas? No call, no show.
Um, he's alive. That's what I've heard so far. Um, I did hear about that, and I saw it, and I looked at it, and I was like, oh no, he didn't show up.
Check out Waldo's videos, https www.youtubecom at Waldo Videos. Yes,
Uh,
keep the trials going, boosting Trump in the popularity and support, love it.
he's not going to win this one. I don't think he's going to do too well. Um, yeah, Clarence Thomas didn't show up, and he's alive. That's the latest news I've heard, but they haven't given us any details. Alive, yes. So let's do this. Let's go here and look at the People versus Donald Trump inside the first ever criminal trial of an American
Funny thing at a
president.
hearing about taking quid pro quo gifts.
Yeah, I know. Sounds like the kind of thing he should have been interested in. Donald Trump's first criminal trial before Election Day is about more than hush money. Prosecutors allege scheme to corrupt a presidential election. So, this is why it's important. Is paying off the porn star that big a deal? Not really. I think it's acceptable for them to have done it the way they did. But when they lied about the records, it becomes a felony at that point. When they lied about the business stuff, it becomes a misdemeanor, right? It's not a felony yet. But if you're doing that to cover up a different crime, which is hiding it from the election or something like that, it becomes a felony. So let's go here. Doot, doot, doot. Come on, quit with this junk at the beginning. We regularly do cases involving false business statements, he told reporters when he announced the 34-count grand jury indictment against the former president last year. The basis for business integrity and a well-functioning business marketplace is true and accurate record keeping. That the charges brought here falsifying New York's. This is about New York. You sons of bitches, I swear. I read these things, but then I forget. Let's do a better job, Waldo. What are we doing?
Given the extensive research and work I've done, I at Tyler the Goat one can confidently say predict the 45th, the real 46th President of the United States, Donald John Trump, will win the U.S. 2024 preside.
The J stands for Junebug. It's Donald Junebug Trump. Thank you. Okay. Manhattan prosecutors, bank, radio. We wouldn't say it's about conspiring to corrupt a presidential election and then lying in New York business record. Okay, I need a better fucking story than this. This one's all over the fucking road. Okay, he summarizes, thank God, that Mr. Trump is accused of falsifying business records to conceal
Remember
an
it, Waldo.
agreement with others to unlawfully influence the 2016 presidential election. And specifically, it is alleged that Donald Trump made or caused false business
At Tyler
records
the Goat
to
one,
hide
this
the
is
true
the real
nature.
Trump derangement syndrome.
I know, Tyler, I think you have Trump derangement syndrome. I think you are deranged, my man. I really do. I think that what you're saying is because you can't see the reality. He summarizes that Mr. Trump is accused of falsifying business records to conceal an arrangement with others to unlawfully influence the 2016 presidential election, and that specifically it is alleged that Donald Trump made or caused false business records to hide the true nature of payments made to Michael Cohen by characterizing them as a payment for legal services rendered pursuant to a retainer agreement. So he's lying about why that money went there and what it was for. That lie is a misdemeanor. But if that lie is a misdemeanor in an attempt to conceal things from the presidential election, it now becomes a felony. Because hiding things from the public when you're running for office is illegal. We don't like that. We don't want that. That is wrong. One sec. Anyway. So yeah, the when he breaks the law, when he lies about why he paid Michael Cohen, that is a misdemeanor. If he's doing it to conceal things about the presidential election, that becomes a felony, and that's what Alvin Bragg's got to do. But he doesn't even have to prove that first part. He doesn't have to prove the reason the payments were made to Michael Cohen. Just this bit, to conceal it from the presidential election, which is obvious, blatant, and gonna happen. Which is why he's gonna be found guilty. They're going to come out and say that he is guilty of this thing. Now, what do we do with that? What happens after that? I'm not entirely sure. Nobody's entirely sure. But it does seem like that's what's going to happen. Alvin Bragg doesn't have to prove the Michael Cohen stuff. He just have to prove that it was to cover up the Michael Cohen stuff. So I think that's going to happen. I think it's going to work. I think it's going to fly. And those people, and what do we do once he is been found guilty? It's difficult. Nobody knows yet. Uh, will he go to jail? I don't think so. Not over this. Not over payment schemes. I think what'll happen is he'll get like probation and a large fine, and he will appeal it, and that appeal will go well past the election, because that'll take 6 months, and he'll drag it and drag it and drag it and drag it, hoping that he can become the president and then toss that stuff out. He will, and this is the state of New York, and it's Alvin Bragg. Will he be allowed to toss that stuff out? Popog and Thomas both have told me, no, you can't toss that stuff out. It's the state. He'll just make Alvin Bragg's life miserable. He will bring him up on charges. He'll investigate him for every single thing that he's ever done. He'll bring up his name every 5 minutes. They'll redo his taxes. He'll get audited. uh, his security, if he got a federal security clearance, they'll deny it. They'll do every single thing they can to make his life miserable. He will be sad. He will be unhappy, and his life will be put on hold, because he's not just going to be under investigation while he's sitting comfortably. No, he's going to have to show up to summonses. He's going to have to bring paperwork. He's going to have to bring all these things together. He's going to have to give up on his life to fulfill the things that the federal government is asking of him in accordance with these fake, nonsense, unnecessary investigations. And that is what's going to happen to Judge Engoron. That is what's going to happen to every judge. Uh, Space Dust is delicious. It's true. It is very good. It's my favorite. So, Miss Economist for Mrs. Economist 466. Okay, here's my political hot take. Give it to me. People that claim Arabs are different from Jews are comical. I'm on board with you so far. They're shockingly similar. Jews and Arabs are a Semitic family that originate from modern-day Iraq. They both are not different races. They still fall under the guise of the Caucasian race, hence the name. They come from the Eastern Caucasus region. I'm on board with you. I agree. It used to be an old joke. I heard this joke back in the 90s, because I'm old. Um, it was about Palestine versus Israel, and the way to describe it is a bunch of brown-skinned, curly-haired dudes throwing rocks at brown-skinned, curly-haired dudes in tanks. It's the same dudes. They're all the same to me. Uh, all people are all the same to me, you know. And I'm with you. They gotta chill. They need to. I mean, honestly, this is just me. You know what's coming. It happens every single time we talk about this. But emo Waldos in chat, they all just need to stop being religious. Just quit it. Quit being religious. It's not good for you. Do the emotes still appear on the screen? They don't appear on the screen anymore. I wonder why it broke. I'll have to go find out. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for giving us your hot take. I appreciate it. Keep up the hot takes. Thanks. So, what were we talking about? We were talking about Donald Trump. So, yeah, I think he's going to be found guilty for this thing. They're going to give him a fine. They're going to give him a probation. Oh, ads. Oh, no. Ads. Oh, my jeez. Oh, my God. But that's okay. We're going to keep talking. So, yeah, I think he's going to be found guilty. He's going to be held responsible somewhat. What they're going to do is call it time served, or uh, give him a fine, and talk about how they're going to give him a fine. He's going to not want to pay it. He'll get a bond. This whole bond thing happens again and again and again, and it will never stop. He'll appeal. Hopefully, he can win, according to him. Not hopefully for me, but hopefully for him, he wins, and then he gets to uh, hopefully held responsible, right? Uh, but I don't think that Anything else will come of it. He'll be found guilty. His fans will love it. Tyler will cheer it on. He'll be found guilty. They'll say it's going to help him win. I don't think it will. The bigger one is going to be the Jack Smith case, which again keeps getting pushed back, pushed back, pushed back because of Judge Eileen Cannon, I think her name is, down in Florida, who is absolutely doing Trump every favor imaginable. She's delaying his trial left, right, and center every time she gets the chance. She's like, yeah, let's push it back, let's push it back, let's push it back, let's push it back. Let's keep pushing it back forever because she doesn't want to be responsible for doing justice. She doesn't want to be responsible. She is a judge. She can't be held responsible for making decisions. God, no. That's terrifying. Why would she want the responsibility of deciding things and, I don't know, judging things? It's not, that's not in her job description. She doesn't want it. She's just there to smack the gavel. She's working for the SCOTUS spot. Maybe. She's just there to hit the hammer and say overruled and shit like that. That's all she wants. She doesn't want to decide shit. She doesn't want all this pressure, you know? Um, that's what I think a lot of times is that the reason we have so many old people in government and stuff like that is because they're the only ones who know how to do it anymore. I don't think they taught the Gen X how to do anything. And follow me. I'm the oldest of the millennials. I'm 42. That makes me the oldest of the millennials, but a little bit younger than Gen X. But I honestly think that the baby boomers knew how to do some things within the government, and they, in their stupidity, didn't teach Generation X how to do it. And so they don't know. So they're just making shit up. I really, the more I look at the government in the past couple of years, I'm really thinking these guys don't know what they're doing. They don't comprehend that they're supposed to be the ones in charge. They're just kids, you know? And that's the feeling I get is that there are so many kids running around in the government. They don't know what's going on. They don't know why they're doing the things they're doing. They just wanted to be important. They want to be live streamers, honestly. They want to look right into the camera and tell you how they feel. They don't want to be held responsible for the decisions they make. They want to be content creators. That's right. Um, that's what I feel about a handful of the Republican senators and stuff like that. They just want to. Washington D.C. is Hollywood for ugly people. So what I mean by that is they want to be in charge. They want to look at all the. They want to look into the camera and tell you how they're feeling. But they're too ugly for Hollywood. There should be an age cap on political term limits within the House and Senate, including presidency. I can almost agree with that. Make it something high, like 85 or something like that. Both houses profited off insider information while simultaneously helping those companies to lobby at them. Yeah, and I'm very much against all the capitalism that's going on inside the government. This is a bad call. The severe amount of money that these people make while pretending to take votes and very rarely ever listening to the people that follow underneath them and their constituency irritates the hell out of me. Tomorrow night on WWE C-SPAN, the drama unfolds. Yeah, kind of. And it has slightly become that, where it's just the two sides fighting against each other. I could see that. That is a bad call. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. Let's talk about Trump some more. Let's look at the next thing that I've got up here. Let's see. There was one more. Let's see. Um, Cool. I was skeptic of the Stormy Daniels prosecution. I was wrong. Prosecution of Donald Trump starting in New York this week is on firm legal ground. Uh-oh. This guy thinks it's on firm legal ground. When Alvin Bragg brought criminal charges against Donald Trump in 23, I was highly skeptical of his decision. It seemed at the time that other indictments would soon follow, and that they would rest on a far firmer legal ground than this. Over the past year, though, I have realized that my initial doubts about Bragg's indictment were misplaced. It now seems clear that Trump's New York trial, slated to begin this week, will be the former president's only criminal trial before the November election. Really? Okay, I really thought we were going to get Jack Smith's before that, but maybe not. Who's writing this? This is Mark Joseph Stern. I don't know who that is. The other three strong indictments against him in other jurisdictions have unfortunately been delayed by a corrupt judge, that's Cannon that I was talking about, a foot-dragging Supreme Court, yep, and the district attorney's questionable conduct in an already complex case. That's Fannie Willis. The combined with Bragg's excellent pretrial briefing has substantially strengthened the case for this prosecution. It is important to American democracy that Trump be forced to defend at least some of his alleged criminal conduct before the jury of his peers in advance of Election Day, and there is no reason why this shouldn't be the case which he's compelled to do now. I am fully on board. Damn it. This is depressing. I really wanted the other ones to be done before, at least somewhat. Damn it. If Jack Smith gets pushed back behind if Jack Smith's trial gets pushed back behind there, I'll be very upset. Zoviak, hey, how you doing? Thanks for coming. We're looking at the Trump trial stuff. Let's see. Start with the facts. Shortly before the 2016 election, Trump wanted to kill a story about his alleged affair with Stormy Daniels, an adult film actress. So he allegedly directed his longtime fixer, Michael Cohen, to pay off Daniels through a shell company for her silence. Afterward, Trump funneled $420,000 to Cohen in installments, which he allegedly concealed the payments by listing them as legal expenses for a retainer that did not exist. So this is a misdemeanor, but if he's doing it intentionally, willingly, to hide things from the American public, that make in that election that makes it a felony. Yeah, we just passed. Sorry, Zoviak, we covered World War III already. It was a very short World War III. World War III. It was all done on Saturday afternoon. It was very quick. It did not take long at all, and it didn't take long for us to cover it either. So yeah, if we're only an hour in and we already covered the entire thing. We were just talking about Iran bombing and sending all those drones over to Israel. No, that's okay. I'm going to turn it into a YouTube video that you can watch later. And then you can become a YouTube subscriber. It'll be great. It's a multimedia approach we got going on. Waldo Inc. Let's see what else we got. Yeah, it becomes a felony when he suggests that when he's doing it to hide things from the American public. Now, the next Shinsinto, you're discussing the next World War III. There's going to be another World War III next week. And then after that, we'll have another World War III, and then we'll have another World War III, and some of them will be worse than others. You know what I mean? So the next World War III might not be over in a weekend. You know, the next World War III might last a few weeks. And then the World War III after that might actually be Russia nuking everybody. The whole thing. And that World War III could last a while. Turns out Bragg has argued convincingly that the former president intended to violate at least two election laws, one state and one federal. First, Bragg asserted that Trump and Cohen ran afoul of the Federal Election Campaign Act by making unlawful campaign contributions. Cohen has already pled guilty for this very act in federal court. Makes it real hard to prove he didn't. You know what I'm saying? I would say World War III is nothing about the Middle East, but about Russia. There you go. See, the next World War III is going to have Russia involved. Yeah. Second, Bragg argued that Trump ran afoul of the New York election law, which forbids any conspiracy to promote or prevent the election of any person to a public office by unlawful means. The district attorney claimed that Trump intended to violate the statute by committing fraud in order to secure his own victory in 2016. So that's what they're saying. By hiding this stuff from the voters, it is actually he's breaking the law. Okay. So that's why I think it's going to that's why I think they're going to come back with a guilty verdict in this Stormy Daniels case. And let's talk about prostitution for a minute. Stormy Daniels is a porn star. She then dates Donald Trump? No. He gave her stuff. She gave him sex. It's prostitution. I don't know why we don't call it that. We ought to. He paid her rent and bought her a car. But he didn't specifically say, give me money, give me sex for this money. You know, somebody downtown does that for $50 and he goes to jail for years. Donald Trump does it for millions of dollars with a porn star and is fine. KVP's in some weird relationships. That's fine. Uh, Coming out to men's, you're part of the MRA, aren't you, KPP? I'm on to you, men's right activist. Yeah, you are. Don't buy the Cheddar Bay biscuits. He's rich. It's an escort and a sexual relationship. Yeah, yeah. Because he's rich, he gets to play by different rules. And that bothers me because he cries every day about how terrible and how awful and how much of a victim he is. I'm being victimized. They're being mean to me. They're not letting me do this, and I don't get to do that, and they're witch hunting me. He gets special treatment. He always has. He's gotten so much more special treatment than anybody else on the planet. It shocks me that he can still cry about being a victim. Uh, Trump have sex. He had permission to reproduce. God save me. Yeah, he's got a whole bunch of kids. Um, Ooh, have you heard the conspiracy theory about Barron Trump? The Okay, conspiracy theory time. I'm going to do this while I'm thinking about it. And the conspiracy theory is that Barron Trump isn't actually Trump's Donald's son, but it was an unintended pregnancy that his daughter got. So Barron is actually his grandson. It's his daughter's son. Because at the time she was like 17 or something like that, and she disappeared for a little while, and then she came back, and Donald had a son. Um, but I don't know. It's a conspiracy theory. Probably not true. Anywho, what are we talking about? What are we thinking about? Okay, so yes, Donald Trump, the poor, mistreated victim, all the time. No matter what happens, he's always the one that's everybody's always picking on, and it's so unfair that they're witch hunting him all the time. If you're Republican, it doesn't have to be true or fact. Yeah, I know. If I were a Republican, I wouldn't have to say that. I could just, if I were a Republican, I could just look into a camera and tell you, hey, Barron is Donald Trump's son. Not his son, it's his grandson. But I try to be connected to facts and logic and reality, and I will tell you that it's a conspiracy theory ahead of time. All right, let's look at the timeline we got here. There we go. Timeline, see if anything interesting happened. The jurors came in. Um, they changed on the gag order hearing. Then Biden's too busy to watch. Glad you put that on the timeline. Selection begins with half-hour preamble from the judge, telling him you are about to participate in the trial by jury. System of trial by jury is one of the cornerstones of our judicial system. The name of the case is the people of the state of New York versus Donald Trump. The defendant is Mr. Donald Trump. Okay, great. He talked to him for half an hour. Sounds about right. Jurors look for him. Let's see. The crowd outside the courthouse has thinned out by 11:53 a.m. Dozens of the former president's supporters waved flags with slogans like "Trump or death." Trump or death. Good lord. Come on, man. Polarizing. And Tyler called me polarizing. Trump 2024, Save America in the morning. 21-year-old Jay Finkel, a native New Yorker who voted for Trump in 2020, said the charges against him don't affect his plans to vote for him. Yeah, this doesn't matter at all. Again, why am I the polarizing one? Uh, I don't know. You're going to be taken off of YouTube due to out of context. Thanks, KVP. 11:56. About 100 prospective jurors are still waiting to be called, but at least they're getting paid. Okay. Can you be fair? Can you be fair and impartial? 12:05. Prospective jurors are about to be asked if they show of hands, row by row, if they believe they cannot be fair or impartial or cannot serve. Those who are excused will be referenced in the courtroom by a pre-signed number, not to be identified. Uh, Prospective jurors occupy every available seat in the courtroom gallery in the jury box. Okay. Juror questionnaire. Roughly a third of 96 people in the first panel of potential jurors remain after the judge excused members of the jury pool. Okay. This is normal court stuff. This is not anything crazy. A woman was dismissed after saying she had strong opinions about Trump. So she's being honest. She says, I have strong opinions about him. And they're like, okay, you can go. You're not going to be on the jury. Since April the 1st this year, cannabis is legal in Germany with the condition that you only smoke at least 100 meters away from a school facility. That's good. That's freedom. I love that. Now the right-wing conservatives in Bavaria could build schools and playgrounds everywhere. Conspiracy theory was a plan by our left-wing government to force Bavaria to do more for children. Good call. I love it. Yeah, this is great. Yeah, maybe we could do that in America and be like, well, America's pretty big, but like, hey, you can't have an abortion clinic within 2 miles of a school or something like that. And they build so many schools. And then even if you can't have an abortion, I mean, you got a school you send your kid to. It'll be great. Maybe you get a job at the school. They're going to need somebody there. I think Zodiac, I think we just solved a whole bunch of problems right there. Man, we're talking world peace now. Solving all kinds of good problems. All right. So this one was dismissed after her strong opinions, and that's a good thing. That's how the system works. On a high stakes day, touching moment in the courtroom. Upper West Side bookseller says he cannot be impartial. Okay, there you go. First juror to say he has a strong opinion about whether former President Trump may be criminally charged in a state court as a bookseller living in the Upper West Side. I feel that nobody is above the law, whether it be a former president or sitting president or a janitor. Um, on the question of whether anything would prevent him from being fair and impartial, the man curtly said no. Okay. It says he cannot be impartial, but it says that he is. This is a bad headline. On the question of whether anything would prevent him from being fair and impartial. He can't. I think this is typoed. Did a fucking AI write this? Of course it did. Fucking AIs. Court is adjourned. No jurors picked. Wait, why are we describing the jurors? Good Lord. Judge Merchant says Trump must appear in court April 25th despite concurring Supreme Court hearing. So yeah, that he was upset about this. He was very grumpy about this. I believe you, KVP. Um, you couldn't be impartial, but you're not sure I couldn't troll. Trolling would be fun. ABC baby, always be trolling. All right, sorry, I didn't have the screen up. Okay, let's say, yeah. Judge Merchant says that Trump must appear in court April 25th, despite concurring Supreme Court hearing, which is what he wanted to go to. He wanted to. I don't know if he wanted to. I think just being told you can't go to the Supreme Court on April 25th made him want to be there more. That's when April 25th is when the Supreme Court is going to determine whether or not he can be immune from everything and all crimes forever because he was the president for 4 years. That means any crime he committed while there can't be held responsible for, and any crime beforehand he can't be held responsible for, and any crime afterward he can't be held responsible for, obviously. Because that's how the legal system works, I think. That's the way he thinks it works. And if you're on one side or the other, everything is political. I don't know. It's such a nonsense situation that he's in right now. He thinks that everything that's good for him is not political. Even all the Republicans supporting him, not a political choice. And everybody who's against him is being political. You just broke the law, boss. That's it. There are rules and laws and it ought to apply to everybody. But since he's on one side, that means you're attacking the entire side. It's madness. You can tell how fierce the right-wingers in Bavaria are by punishments they impose. Driving past a school at 80 miles an hour in 30 zone cost me $250, while and a driving ban from smoking weed in front of a school cost $1,500. Ouch. Could you imagine thinking everything is political and based on feelings? I know. Terrible life that you would live if you thought that everything is political and based on feelings. I know. What kind of horrible life would you lead? What kind of terrible person would you become? So let's see what else talk about. I thought, oh, we do have this video of him where he whines and cries again. I think I've got another video of it over here. Yeah, let's watch him whine and cry and become, because he is the biggest victim on the planet. Just that he every single thing that's ever happened, he is just the victim of. I swear. Okay, here we go. I think the volume's good. Go.
So I just want to thank you very much, but that I can't go to my son's graduation or that I can't go to the United States Supreme Court, that I'm not in Georgia or Florida or North Carolina campaigning like I should be, It's perfect for the radical left Democrats. That's exactly what they want. This is about election interference. That's all it's about. Thank you very much.
All right, so that was him being the victim. Hey, Ponathan's here. He's my first subscriber. He's got a cool badge to prove it. Yeah, poor guy. His victimhood is huge, huge victim. This poor guy. He claims German heritage. I'm ashamed that we have done to you for that, Americans. Yeah. What was his original name when he was when his grandpa came to Ellis Island? It was Drumpf. Drumpf was his name. But they anglicized it and turned it into Trump. Um, his grandpa did that when they came through. Uh, he's the worst person that America has ever produced, honestly. So he's crying now about his son's graduation that he can't go to because he has to be there in court. That sounds like a consequence of your poor actions, Donnie. If you do bad things, wrong things, criminal things, sometimes the state will tell you where you can and can't be. This is shocking to him. He's never faced such horrible consequences before. This might be the first time he's ever faced consequences for anything ever in his entire life. This might be the first time anybody's been able to say, no, you have to stay here. You can't go there. Can you even imagine that? This is the problem, is he's a spoiled rich brat. That's what the problem is. That's why he acts the way he does, is because he's never been told no in his entire life. And if he has, he didn't listen. And if he didn't listen, he never faced any consequences for it. He is a spoiled rich boy who's never had to do anything difficult in his life. And because of that, he thinks that even normal, everyday responsibility is a punishment. And he's going to be in charge of the entire planet, according to Tyler. And he's going to hold us all responsible. And he's going to revenge on everyone. Revenge, sweet, sweet revenge will happen if he gets elected again. I think he will do revenge if he gets elected. I just hope he doesn't win, you know? So let's go and look at this thing is a big deal. I think there was one specific thing in here I wanted to read. No, it was this one, I think. Okay, prosecutors will be allowed to provide evidence Trump knew he was reimbursing Cohen for payments to Daniels, not paying him for legal services, and that Cohen was given substantially more money, $420,000 than $130, paid to Daniels in part to address tax issues Cohen would possibly face. So I thought there was something better here. Okay, here we go. Here's the thing. Normally, falsifying business records is a misdemeanor, but if business records are falsified with the intent to cover up or commit a different underlying crime, it's a felony. So that is what we're talking about. That's what we're going for. That's what we're paying attention to. The fact that he falsified a business record to hide a different crime. That makes it a felony, and that's why this is going to come back with a guilty plea. Yeah, they're going to come back and find him guilty. And let's look at the, oh, here we go. We've got the victimhood train, just keeps on a rolling. Victim, victim, victim. Crimea River, he's going to complain. What does this one say? I don't know what that is. They hope that keeping Donald Trump off the campaign trail will all turn the tide for Biden in November. Well, no, this is a criminal trial. Stupid. What are you, dumb? What are you, an idiot? Law Professor John Yoo, who is not a good guy. It's pretty extraordinary. Half the jury pool already says that they are so biased against President Trump they can't serve on the jury. That's part of the plan, man. If you didn't see that as blatantly part of the plan, you're an idiot, John Yoo. You are an idiot, John Yoo. Stand with Trump because he's a victim. And then here we go. In addition to being prohibited from attending my son Barron's high school graduation, I've just learned that there's a highly biased judge in the Soros-appointed DA. Soros-appointed DA. Soros added funds to a general account that gave it to hundreds of different people who were running for elections, and one of those people was this guy. But that doesn't make him Soros funded. It doesn't. You're insane. Will not allow me to attend the historic presidential immunity argument in front of the United States Supreme Court on Thursday, April 25th. This shows such great disdain and disrespect for our nation's highest court, especially for a topic so important as presidential immunity, without which our country would never be the same. If they told him he couldn't go to anything, he would have cried and screamed and whined about it. It's also why he's an asshole. He never feared consequences. He will not behave, and he will become very selfish. Yeah, he's very selfish because he's never faced a consequence before. Said that most Americans aren't as balanced as you. Whenever I talk to Americans, they're either communists or right wingers. The middle is missing over there. Everything seems to be black and white to me. It is a very common American sentiment to be one side or the other, opposition or for and against, us versus them. It is difficult to and I'm definitely not a centrist, that's for sure. I mean, I'm a leftist, but you have to get there. You have to get to leftism slowly, one step at a time, one little bit at a time, and you can't just rush in. The communists, who I would assume you're talking to, want the entire. They're generally accelerationists as well, so they want Trump to win so that everything falls apart, so that they can take over and build a communist utopia on top of the rubble left over after Donald Trump nukes us all. But not an extremist. Yeah, exactly. Leftist, but not an extremist. Right. Um, and yeah, not in the center, but slow, methodical, little steps, baby steps. I would baby step the entire country to the left, and that's what I try to push for, is things like that. Okay, so this next one I'm going to look at is a little bit different. Well, not really, a little bit different. It's politics, right? So let's put this in screen. This hasn't got anything to do with Trump or Israel. I know, right? What are you doing, Waldo? Um, okay. The Supreme Court effectively abolishes the right to mass protest in 3 U.S. states: Louisiana, Mississippi, and Texas. It is no longer safe to organize a protest. This is insane. This is our rights being taken away. Our rights are going away. You have fewer rights in these states as of now, but nobody cares. Nobody's talking about it. The Supreme Court announced on Monday that it will not hear McKesson versus Doe. The decision not to hear McKesson leaves in place a lower court decision that effectively eliminated the right to organize a mass protest in the state of Louisiana, Mississippi, and Texas. Under that lower court's decision, a protest organizer faces potentially ruinous financial consequences if a single attendee at the mass protest commits an illegal act. So, if you convinced and you called and you put out on social media, said, hey, 1,000 people show up for this any type of protest, and one of the people commits a crime while it's there, the organizer, whoever sent that email, gets sued. What the fuck? It is possible that this outcome will be temporary. Well, that's good news. The court did not embrace the United States Court of Appeals or the Fifth Circuit's decision attacking the First Amendment right to protest, but it did not reverse it either. That means that, at least for now, the Fifth Circuit's decision is the law in much of the American South. For the past several years, the Fifth Circuit has engaged in a crusade against DeRay McKesson, a prominent figure within the Black Lives Matter movement who organized a protest near Baton Rouge Police Station in 2016. The facts of the McKesson case are unfortunately quite tragic. McKesson helped organize the Baton Rouge protest following the fatal police shooting of Alton Sterling. During that protest, an unknown individual threw a rock or similar object at a police officer. The plaintiff in McKesson's case, who is identified as Officer John Doe, sadly, the officer was struck in the face and, according to the court, suffered injuries to his teeth, jaw, brain, and head. Everyone agrees that the rock was not thrown by McKesson, however, and the Supreme Court held the NAACP and Claiborne Hardware that protest leaders cannot be held liable for the violent actions of protest participants. So that's what happened in 1982. baby. 1982. The Supreme Court determined that protest leaders cannot be held liable for the violent actions of a protest participant, absent unusual circumstances that are not present in McKesson's case. So if McKesson had authorized, directed, or ratified the decision to throw the rock, he didn't, which means he's not responsible since the fucking 80s. But the Republicans want to change that. They want to undo that law because they don't like it. Indeed, as Justice Sotomayor points out in the brief opinion, according to the court's decision to not hear McKesson, the court recently reaffirmed the strong First Amendment protections enjoyed by people like McKesson. That decision held that the First Amendment precludes punishment for inciting violent action unless the speaker's words were intended, not just likely, to produce an imminent disorder. So, under the Fifth Circuit's rule, a Ku Klux Klansman could sabotage a Black Lives Matter movement simply by showing up at its protests and throwing stones. That's the problem. That's exactly what the problem is. Thank you, KBP. What we're looking at is the BLM organizer organized something. Someone else threw a rock and harmed a police officer. And now this guy that organized it is being held responsible. He's being sued by the police officer for lots and lots and lots and lots of money that he doesn't have. This will make it so that people don't do protests anymore. And if you don't do protests, you don't have that First Amendment right to protest. And this was the law of the land in 1983, but the Republicans are changing it because they're zealots, because they're extremists. They don't want the First Amendment to be used by these people, so they're going to change the rules. Remember what I keep saying about this bubble? The bubble. This guy right here is not inside the white right-wing conservative bubble, which means that the law needs to punish him. That is how this is conservatism all over again, building the bubble. Anybody inside the bubble needs to be protected by the law. Anybody outside the bubble, harmed by the law. This is exactly what I've been talking about. This is exactly what's going on, and it keeps happening over and over and over again. How many times do we have to see it before everybody notices? Hey, the Republicans don't use the law properly. They can't be trusted in charge of the law because they will build structures within that law that harm the people that are politically against them and protect the people that are politically for them. Well, I'm glad you're doing good. I don't quite understand how the thing works. It doesn't show me a thing on my screen. If it like showed me what was on the screen, I would have a much better time. It'd be a lot easier to for me to plan. I'd talk to you guys or read chat or something like that. But it doesn't tell me when it starts, when it ends, and all that shit. So what we've got here is southern states taking away rights. The southern states are taking away your rights. They are. And by allowing people to sue the organizer, if anything goes wrong, you sue the organizer. There will be no more organizers. There will be no more protests. You lose your First Amendment right. It's right there. Why do Republican right-wing people keep voting to take away rights from Americans? I don't get it. They tell me that they're the Freedom Party. I know they're not. Everything they do just compresses and removes people's rights to do things. And I don't know why they would do that. Why do they get to go on TV and tell us that they're the ones who believe in the Constitution, if they're the ones who all take away people's rights? They're the ones that are removing the thing. It's almost like a famous book. It was about people who said one thing and did another. Political party. I don't know. Maybe you could write a. Maybe we should write a book about a complicated political party that says one thing and does another. Anywho, that's what I wanted to rant about tonight because it bugs me that this can happen. Because I'm just cruising along. I'm just looking at the news. There it is. The right wing taking away another right. Anywho's it. I'm going to close this. I'm going to start the video game, and I'm going to turn the Lady Canooch back on. You guys can give me your political hot takes, and she will read them to you. If you're watching, press the subscribe button, press the like button, press the thumbs up. Subscribing is scientifically proven to make me happier, and it'll probably make you happier too. So you should do that. Right. So let's do that. Double click on the Steam button. And let's turn the Lady Canooch back on. There she is. Button Canooch. Canooch time. It's time for the Canooch. Let's Canooch.
Isn't it quite misleading that political right and right do use the same word?
I know. Maybe that's why there's so many of them, is because they think that they're the right party, who are correct, and they support rights, and they are on the right. So maybe it's just it's a cognitive thing. Maybe they just think that that's what's going on, and they never look into it again. And they're red, so they're really important, and they're very smart. I don't know. Maybe it's a cognitive thing. Right, so we're going to go here. We're going to turn off that. And we're going to turn on this. We're going to click this button. And we're going to go here. And we're going to bring it up. Then it should appear. Wait for it. There it is. Finger flicks. They always work. It's the most important part about doing IT work is finger flicks. They make the computers work. Reading the things here. I don't know where to go. So I'm just going to kind of pick one and roll with it. Configuration. Prospector's Trail, Deadman's Gulch.
By the way, in German it's the same, so I think it's a global thing. Die Rechten the right wing versus Das Recht Ton doing the right.
Rechten damn near killed him. Yes. Do I have a key for that thing? I don't. Let's go to Homestead and then find these things. Alright, so apparently there's some eggs out here I have to kill, but I can't get past this green thingy. So I'm going to try and go... Well, can I go out the back? I should go out this side. Hey, I can go this way. Let's go this way. Look, peasants. Back to work, peasant. Keep tilling the fields. This is Grim Dawn.
Nice.
This is called Grim Dawn. It's a Steam game. A few years old, and I'm a sucker for the Diablo clones. Wait, yeah, let's go. Kill some monsters. Pumpkin fields. Oh no, bugs. Oh, wait, we got eggs to kill. Look, eggs. Die,
no
eggs.
Problem. I also play old games. I actually play Witcher 3 for the 5th time ever.
Yeah, I got through it once or twice, but it's a long one. Let's go kill some eggs. Eggs. Bam. All right. So, what do you guys think? guilty for Trump? Will he be found guilty, or will he be found not guilty?
By the way, after the start of the Fallout series, Bethesda updates Fallout 4. A new DLC is upcoming.
Really? Okay. That's weird. A DLC for Fallout 4. Will he be found guilty, not guilty? If he is guilty, what's the um, punishment going to be? All that fun stuff. Let me know what you think.
I think he will plead not guilty like every time, but I hope he will be punished.
Yeah, it'd be nice. He's already pled not guilty. He's already done the pleading not guilty. So the trial will continue over the next couple of weeks. And it might only be 3 weeks or so before we find out a verdict, when the jury will tell us guilty or not guilty. And I haven't had the time to go watch that Civil War movie yet, but I'll probably go there and watch that in the next day or two. No spoilers. But I'll spoil it. But that's my job, right? Uh, I'll tell you how I thought it went. I might be able to go tomorrow and watch it. See how my schedule rolls out.
I hope he get punished. Rather, the Americans, believe it or not, to have Trump as president will have a huge bad impact on European politics. He will be found unable to stand trial due not being able to shut his trap.
Well, then they'll just kick him out. That happens sometimes in reality. They'll just boot him out of the courtroom. Say, if you can't hold your tongue, you'll be out of here. And then they'll go on without him. And then he'll come out into the hallway and he'll talk to the cameras and be like, they kicked me out for saying true things. And his fans will love it. I think, KVP, you might be onto something. I think that might be what he does. That's how he loses but saves face. That's how, with his fans. Yes, he lost, and his fans will know he lost, but he'll be able to be maximum spiteful in the courtroom, and that will make them very happy with him. Yeah, you lost, but you told him where to stick it, so we're still your friends. We're still your fans, you know? I can drop lightning from the sky, but a small wooden fence stops me.
He's going to pull an AJ Luzai court talk shit about how it was rigged and his cult members will eat it up.
Yeah, he's doing that now, and that is the thing he's doing. He's talking about how it's rigged. The Soros funded judge can't be impartial. I can't be judged by this person. They took money from this George Soros in the 1990s. Means they're clearly a Democrat plant. Yeah, he's gonna do that, but that doesn't get him out of court. The courts just don't mind. And yeah, his cult will eat it up. So yeah, I think you're right. The cult loves it and continues to vote for him. But I think the normies, abandon him. I think the center in the middle leaves him at that point.
I think it's a shame that the time difference and my sleep routine get in the way every time, but if you had the same time zone, I would be there for every stream. You're doing a good job here.
I appreciate you saying so. Thank you. I'm glad you're here. The Saturday morning streams start at 10 a.m. So I don't know if
That's
that
what it takes.
makes
I
it
have
worse.
serious issues with their judgment. Same, just not as extreme.
Hey, look, a camp. Hi, everybody. You got any quests for me? No? That's cool. I guess we'll just leave. Thanks. Have a good day. Good luck getting that cart out of here. How'd the cart get in? Didn't look like it fit. That's something interesting I noticed in this game. I don't know if you guys just saw it, but like the enemies will fight each other. The orcs were fighting the sandworms, which is kind of weird. I just kind of walked in on them. Like, if you guys don't need me here, I guess I can leave. Well then, what about the World War III and the Israel stuff? What do you guys think is going to happen there? You think they the Israelis keep pushing, or do you think they finally back off now that serious Joe Brandon has come to talk to him? Oh, passed that already. Scarecrows. Why, they leave little ghosts behind. That's spooky. Kill a scarecrow and it leaves a little green little ghost behind. Apparently he was like driving the scarecrow, like a car. He's a hay mech. He's a mecha made out of cloth and hay. Kill the bugs, step on the pumpkins.
Like a hermit crab, you are just a home wrecker.
That's true. I am ruining their home. It's true. Maybe I'm out here killing spiritual hermit crabs.
Check out Waldo's videos, https www.youtubecom at Waldo videos.
Thank you, Canooch. Let me see. What am I doing tomorrow? I might do a daytime stream tomorrow, just for fun. I don't know. I've got a little bit more time on my hands recently. So maybe a daytime stream tomorrow. See if I can get some people watching in the noon hours, you know. What is this? This going down. Let's go down. Yeah. What could possibly go wrong? Oh no, there are more bugs down here. Who could have suspected? Uh-oh, boss. Oh. I actually had to try on that one. See, we get anything? Nothing. 35 reputation. The rep grind. Wait, did I get a level? I think I did. Oh, another boss. Well, that one was easy. Let's do... Oh, I got 2 levels. Okay. Boop. And boop. Go here. Go there. Do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Maxing out chain lightning. Because what else is there? Maybe that would make good YouTube videos. I play the games but only using chain lightning. I'd beat all the games. It's the best skill. Did my friend die? He did. Get back here, friend. Come on. Quit slacking off.
Mod the game just so you have chain lightning.
Yeah, well, that's how most YouTube titles are. Can I beat the game with just Pikachu? Or beating the Elite Four with just Rattata? That's like it's a video title that I'm sure I've seen. But yeah, I don't even have to mod the game, but like...
Animal Crossing except with chain lightning.
Yeah, Animal Crossing. Can I beat Animal Crossing with just chain lightning? Possibly. We'll only have to mod it. We'll start. See, what we'll do is we'll start with games that already have chain lightning and build my spec towards chain lightning always.
10 tips for beating the end boss.
10 tips for beating the end boss with chain lightning. Tip 1, chain the lightning. Tip 2, do it again. That is a one-handed sword. Yuck. A treasure. But yeah, that could be...
Sir, this is a Wendy's.
It's true, I'm sorry. But I've got such a great idea for a YouTube video, and you need to hear it. So what other games can I think of? Definitely Path of Exile, Chain Lightning. I know WoW Shamans have Chain Lightning. I don't know if that's still a viable build or anything like that. I don't think it ever was, but not in my playing time anyway. Um, Diablo for sure. What other games have chain lightning? I know Witcher has a lightning skill, right? I don't know if it chains to a bunch of other things. Isn't there one of the signs that does lightning? Or am I thinking of something else? Oh, that little guy just wanted to get squatted, swatted.
Fun fact, in Germany, Wendy's is a magazine for children about horses.
Oh,
Skyrim.
well that sounds fun too. Yeah, Skyrim's got chain lightning. There you go. That was a lot of bosses right on top of each other. All that poison barely survived. If Wendy's is a magazine, where do you get your triple hamburgers and Frosties? Where do you get your Baconators?
Mail order 3 to 6 weeks.
You gotta order a Baconator.
They are not popular.
Another cave down. Okay. Bet there's another boss down here. Boss bugs. Bug bosses.
McDonald's, Burger King, Dunkin' Donuts, a lot of American fast food stores are here too.
Yeah, I would imagine so, yeah. I'm sorry. You apologize for Trump. I'll apologize for that. Except for the donuts. That's just us spreading the goodness. Whoa, that's a big bug.
Burger Torm.
Burger Torm. Die, Swarm Queen. You don't belong in this world. Aha. We did it. We killed a poor defenseless
We
bug.
also have
Ah!
Starbucks. It's known
Oh,
for the
she's
most
still going.
expensive and most exotic coffee you can have here.
Oh. Why would... Oh, I guess the Starbucks is the opposite of exotic in America. I can't go back there? I thought there would be a treasure back there. Nope. Find some treasure boxes. Treasure. We go down. Ooh. I didn't expect to go
Bikini
down.
baristas are neat.
Bikini baristas, yeah. I went to one of those one time just to see what was going on. Scientifically speaking, I needed to know what was happening. And I'll be honest with you. I mean,
At KB Pontwich, why is that?
she had a thong on, but then she had like sugar packets over her nipples, and I thought that was hilarious. That's great. You got the sugar packets that you would be putting into the thing, covering up. That's funny. That's a joke. I like that. And then she was chatting me up and trying to flirt, but I, being the weirdo that I am, was like, "Can I have some coffee?" And then I'll leave. Like I am in every interaction with a barista. I'm like, coffee, large, black, no sugar, no cream, just give it to me. And And the less you can say, the better. Uh, that's how I order coffee. But um, she was acting more like a stripper, where she's chatting me up, trying to be friendly, and I'm like, oh, I forgot, I'm not friendly. Uh, is that the way out? It looks like a way down. It is. It's going down. I can't get out of this cave. Where did I come in?
Well, we normally drink our coffee black with sugar. That's it. No whisked whipped cream with sprinkled topping and 8 liters of milk.
Oh, that sounds awful. I'm just kidding. Uh, so with sugar, that's it. No whisk. Oh yeah. Okay, black with sugar. Yeah. I'm
Got
sorry.
a Dunkin' ad through that whole story.
You got a Dunkin' ad? Holy crap! The AI is listening. Uh, um, yeah. Coffee, black with sugar. That I can be okay with. Um, I don't put sugar in mine. No, I'm just as I like it to be bad. I want it to taste bad, man. I want it to be burnt. I want it to be too hot. I want molten poison in my cup, please. That's what I like. That's just because I'm a crusty old nightmare monster that can't be uh, bothered with all the frills and the extras. I want as much caffeine in there as you can
Starbucks
get
Light
into me.
Roast with stevia. And how intelligent the AI gets today. I wrote Dunkin' totally wrong, but the AI understood it XD.
The AI is coming. Yeah, it's done us all a bunch of favors, seems. Again, I can drop lightning from the sky anytime I want, but a small stone fence completely derails me.
Is it AI or outsourced? Who will ever know?
All Indian, yeah. It's just a bunch of Indian guys in India just watching all the time, typing, choosing which ad you get next. It's not AI. Whoa, big guy. Take that, big guy.
The point why these American companies are successful is because they understood we are different here. Walmart tried to open some stores here like they do in America and they failed outstandingly.
Yeah. That makes sense. You gotta know your market, you know? That makes sense. I think, I mean, I think I've seen like infographics on the internet of the most popular pizza toppings in every country and stuff like that. Soviak, what's the most popular common pizza flavor and topping and stuff like that? In America, it's just pepperoni and cheese. But if I've read correctly, it was in Japan, it's squid and potato mayonnaise. That's their most common pizza topping, which sounds insane. I mean, I'd try it, but I don't know.
The real differentiator is what you put on your fries. Salami
Oh,
pizza and tuna is the most common. Rather you like meat or you are more in fish.
oh, salami pizza and tuna is the most common. Okay. Do you like your meat or are you more fish? Oh, hmm. I don't think I've ever had tuna on a pizza before. I've never had any fish on a pizza. Now that I think about it, salami I could be all right with. I do like salami, and that's not that far off from pepperoni anyway. And I just don't think it's a pizza if it doesn't have some pork on top. You know?
You ever put mayo in your fries?
No, I've never done mayo fries. Uh, it's not my thing. I'm a big fan of ketchup. I always thought about going to Europe and just taking a bunch of ketchup with me. Uh, just putting the ketchup on all the food just to see what people do. That now that's a YouTube video.
That KB pont which my wife does, but is ignore it if she does so XD.
There's your YouTube video. Hey guys, it's me, Waldo. I've gone to Europe today and I'm bringing my ketchup. See what everybody thinks. And then I go into a nice
Ugly,
restaurant in France and pour a bunch of ketchup on their food just to see what they do. It might start a world war, so I'd be careful.
The condiment wars of the 2020s.
Yeah, we discussed the fast food wars before, but not the condiment wars. Everybody in there's dead. Why'd I break the door down? See, I can break that door. Watch, I'm gonna break another door. With that small wooden fence.
That's the real WW3.
We fight over
Like you have the
condiments.
discussion what to do on your fries, we have the same with pizza here. Pizza Hawaii, is it allowed to do pineapple on your pizza or not? D.
I think pineapple on pizza is gross. Also, the people of Hawaii, and I would know, I lived there for about 3 years, do not put pineapple on their pizza. They don't. They put pineapple on every other damn thing, but not that. They never have. They think it's weird. Dead boss.
I know that it's an advertising thing. Ever ate in a Chinese restaurant? I bet you don't because it only looked Chinese.
Wait, what? I know that it's an advertising thing. Yeah, ever ate in a Chinese restaurant? I bet you don't because it only looked Chinese. Yeah, it's usually. I mean, there was a Chinese food place in my hometown when I was a teenager. We got
Ready
excited.
to get banned. Pineapple, red peppers, and ham on my pizza.
I'd be okay with the ham and the peppers, but not the pineapple. Not like this. Um, yeah, no, the pineapple just bad. Bleh. Tastes bad. It's got the wrong kind of acidity, wrong kind of sweetness. No good. But ham and red peppers, that'd be all right. Oh, my inventory is full. Okay. Should I let them out? I mean, I guess. I mean, I'm just gonna kill you. You really want me to break down the door? Okay. See, I broke that door down, but the wooden fence stops me. I don't get it. All right. Anywho.
Well, without peppers, the pineapple could be good, and without the pineapple, the peppers could be good, but both nothing for me.
They cancel each other out. It's not a bad call there. Okay, we're gonna go here. And what am I doing? Yeah, it's 9 o'clock. It's about pretty much done for the night. We did all the stuff. We did some video games. I will be back on Wednesday for sure. Maybe tomorrow. I'm not sure. Depends on what I'm doing tomorrow. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. Maybe I'll do a day stream on Tuesday or Thursday or something like that. Throw in an extra one because I'm definitely going to be gone on Saturday. This next coming Saturday, 10 a.m. stream is out. I'm going to be gone for that, and so I won't be here on Saturday. Thomas might not be that. I don't think he's going to be at that one either. So the week after, he may be back. I'm not sure. He doesn't tell me his schedule. It's okay. So sometime soon, Thomas will be back in the next couple of weeks. I've got some more free time, so I'm going to throw a few extra daytime streams in there.
I'm on YouTube now to look what you said about WW3.
Yeah. The all of these are on the live tab of YouTube. So if you go there,
https www.youtubecom at waldavideos.
all of the live videos are there.
Thanks.
Or you can wait a day or two if you're busy for me to chop it up and turn it into a YouTube video. Because what I do is I just take this stream exactly as it is. I throw it through a filter that gets rid of all the uhs and the ums and the blank empty spaces, and it chops them out for me, and then I turn it into a YouTube video, which is just shorter and to the point. So if you feel free to look at any of that. Press the subscribe button. It'll make me happier, and it'll probably make you happier too. I mean, I can't guarantee, but that is it for me tonight. I appreciate everybody who was here. Thanks for coming in, Zoviac. Thanks, Shinsinto, KBP, and we had one new chatter today, so that was very nice. I will be back on Wednesday for sure, maybe a daytime stream in between then. And that is it for me. I'm going to go try and watch that Civil War movie soon, and I'll let you know how it is. And I'll put a big pig thingy. Thanks, Tyler. Yes, indeed. Thanks, Tyler. Thanks for coming in. I muted him for 5 minutes, and then he left and didn't come back. You can disagree all day. You can call me all the things you want, but when you start calling other people in chat and saying I'm gonna fuck your mom, well, now you get muted for 5 minutes. That's all. So I didn't boot him or anything like that, but he said things mean to a different chatter, and I just drama llama. Yeah, no drama llamas here. This is not a drama channel. That's it for me tonight. I appreciate it. Thanks, everybody. My name is Waldo, and I will see you on Wednesday or sooner.
Waldo.
Yeah, take it easy.